Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 8 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there. Excuse me. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math. From the subject tab, scroll down to grade 8 and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter probability. And the lessons we're going to cover today are probability of opposite mutually exclusive and overlapping events, make predictions, compound events, find the number of outcome. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Here I'm on grade 8 math. Chapter we're working on is probability. Let's just start with the lesson, that is probability of opposite mutually exclusive and overlapping events. Let's just start with the lesson. Okay, let's just start with the first example. You spin the spinner once. What is the probability of not red, right? So you can see there you have 10 sections on the spinner, right? And none of the sections are red. So that means the probability of red is 0 out of 10 because no portion is red, right? Now that is the probability of red. You need to calculate the probability of not red. So you can calculate the probability of not red by subtracting it from 1. 1 minus probability of red equals probability of not red. So 1 minus 0 over 10 is 10 over 10. That means that is 1. Probability of not 10 is 1. Got it? Okay, just look at example. You pick a card at random. What is the probability of not even, right? Probability of not, for to calculate the probability of not even, first you need to calculate the probability of even, right? Two of the numbers are even out of the four, right? So probability of even is 2 out of 4. Then probability of not even is 1 minus probability of even, right? So that is 2 over 4 and 50% it is. Let's just start with the test questions. Okay, you spin the spinner once. What is the probability of yellow or blue, right? So you need to calculate the probability of both the events. You have two different events, right? Yellow and blue, they are the two different events, right? So let's just calculate the probability of yellow first. That is, you have two portions yellow out of 9, 2 out of 9. That is probability. Blue is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5 over 9. You need to calculate the probability of yellow or blue. So you need to add both the probabilities. You need to do 5 over 9 plus 2 over equals 7 over 9. The correct option is 7 over 9. That means option number 1 is the correct option. Probability of yellow or blue is 7 over 9. Got it? Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, what you pick a card at random. What is the probability of 6 or even, right? So you have two different events, probability of 6 and the probability of even. Let's just calculate their probability. So probability of 6 is 1 out of 4, right? And then probability of even is, you have two even numbers out of 4, right? But that's an overlapping because 6 is also an even number. So yes, that is 2 over 8, right? Because 6 is also an even number. So you just have to calculate the probability of even, right? The probability is same 2 over 4 because 6 is even number also, and the probability of, you need to calculate the probability of 6 also. So that is probability of 6 or even is 2 over 4 because 6 is even also. So that is 2 over 4. That means that is 50%. The correct option is 50%. Got it? 50% it is. You flip a coin. What is the probability of not head, right? So not head means first you need to calculate the probability of head. We know that the probability of head is 1 over 2. Then the probability of not head is 1 minus 1 over 2. That is also 1 over 2. So that is 50%, right? The correct option is 50%. Got it? Not head means tail it is. So the probability of tail is also 50%. Okay, you spin the spinner once. What is the probability of 5 or odd? Which is the correct option? You have to answer now. Which option is the correct one? The correct option is 1 over 3, right? That's an overlapping event. 5 is also an odd number. So the correct option is 1 over 3. Got it? The next one is you roll a six-sided, very good. You roll a six-sided die. What is the probability of odd or greater than 5? So which is the correct option? Odd. Odd. Which is the correct option? 2 out of 5? No. This is 2 out of 3. Let me explain how. The probability of odd is, you have 3 of the numbers odd, right? 3 out of 6. And the probability of greater than 5, you have only one number that is greater than 5. That would be 1 out of 6. So you need to add odd and greater than 5. That is 1 over 6 plus 3 over 6, and that is 4 over 6. You can divide them by the common factor 2, so that is 2 over 3. Got it? That's how that is 2 over 3. Got it? The correct option is 2 over 3. Why don't you use your own name as your username? You have your own identity. Use your own name. You spin the spinner once. What is the probability of not brown? Which is the correct option? Doesn't make sense. Is the correct option? The correct option is 6 over 7 it is, right? Because only one of the portion is brown. So 1 minus 1 over 7 is 6 over 7. The correct option is 6 over 7, isn't it? You pick a card at random. What is the probability of yellow or orange? Which is the correct option? That is that is 7 over, because you don't have probability yellow, you don't have any of the yellow, right? So orange one is, you have 1 2 3 4 5 7 of the 8 are orange, so that is 87.5%, right? The probability for yellow is 0, right? So you need to just calculate the probability of orange, that is 87.5%. Yes, that is option number 2. Very good. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson, and the next lesson is mm, make predictions. Let's just start with the next lesson, that is make predictions. Okay, let's just start with the first example. Okay, if you flip two coins 12 times, what is the best prediction possible for the number of times both coins will land on head, right? So when you flip a coin, you have four outcomes. Both on the both coins you have head, tails on both coins, one had one, like first one have head, the second one is tail, or the second one is, the first one is tail and second one is head, right? So there are total four outcomes for the two coins, right? The probability is, you flip two coins to the, you need to find the probability for both the coins land on head. So the probability for both the coins land on head is 1 out of 4, right? Because you did it 12 times, so you need to multiply it by the 12. That means there are, the best prediction is 3 out of 12 times you have the, on both the coins you have head. Got it? Let's just start with the test questions. Okay, if you spin the spinner 7 times, what is the best prediction possible for the number of times it will not land on yellow? So, not land on yellow means it will either land on blue or either red. So, the probability of not yellow, right? Probability of not yellow, or is, you have only two colors that are not, two portions that are not yellow, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 2 out of 7. And you did the spinner 7, you spin the spinner 7 times, so you have to do by 7 times 7, 7 and 7 cancel out, you are left with 2. That means the best prediction is 2 times they will not land on yellow. The correct option is 2. Got it? The correct option is 2. Okay, the next one is, if you spin the spinner 8 times, what is the best prediction possible for the number of times it will not land on green? So, which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? The correct option is, it will not land on green means that it will land on red portion, right? You have three of the portions are red, but you, three out of eight are red, and you did the spinner 8 times, so that means you are left with three. That means three. The best prediction is you have three outcomes that it will not land on green. The correct option is three. Got it? The next one is, you select a marble without looking and put it back. You do this 8 times. What is the probability, best prediction possible that the number of times you will pick an orange marble? Which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? You have six of the marbles that are orange, right? Six out of eight are orange. And you did this, you do, like you pick the marble for the 8 times. So, which is the correct option? The correct option is, that is 6 out of 8, right? Because six of the marbles, yes, that is 6. Very good. The correct option is 6. Option 1 is the correct option. Okay, the next one is a factory worker inspected a batch of wooden boxes. He found that 4 were flawed and 16 were not. Considering this data, how many flawed boxes would you expect the inspector to find in the batch of 10? Which is the correct option? The correct option is that is 2, right? The correct option is 2 because the 4 out of 16 is the for the first one it is 4 out of 16, right? You need to calculate the flawed boxes in the batch of 10. So how do you calculate? The flawed boxes are 4 divided by the total. 16 plus 4 is 20. That means you have 4 out of 20. So the experimental probability for this event is 1 over 5, right? Now you need to calculate the probability. You have 5. For the second one you have For the second one, you have the experimental probability 1 over 5. So 1 over 5 is equal to n over 10. That means n equals 2. That means 2 of the boxes were flawed in the second one. Got it? The correct option is 2. You have to do the experimental probability equals n over 10 because you are given the 10 boxes, right? So that means you need to multiply 5 both sides. So you are left with n equals 2. That means in a batch of 10 boxes, you would expect the inspector to find 2 flawed ones. The correct option is 2. Okay, if you flip a coin 12 times, what is the best prediction possible for the number of times both coins land on head, right? So when you flip two coins, you have four outcomes. Which four outcomes? Either both will land on head, either both will land on tails. The first one land on head, the second one on tail, and the first one land on tail and the second one land on head. So for the two coins, you have four outcomes, and the probability for both coins land on head is probability of both the heads is 1 out of 4, right? And you did this event, you flip the coins 12 times, so you have to do 1 by 4 times 12. So 4 times 1 is 4 and 4 times 3 is 12. That means you have 3 times it both the coins will land on head. The correct option is 3. Got it? The correct option is 3. You select a marble without looking and put it back. If you do this 10 times, what is the best prediction possible for the number of times it will land on blue marble. So, which is the correct option? Which option is the correct one? The correct option is yes, that is 4. The correct option is 4. You can do calculations. Stanley's Bagel shop recently sold 8 bagels, of which 4 were raisin bagels. Considering this data, how many of the next 12 bagels sold should you expect be raisin should you expect to be raisin bagels? Which is the correct option? Okay. You have 8 bagels, of which 4 were raisins, right? So now you have the 12 bagels. Yes, that means out of 12 you have 6. You can calculate the experimental probability like we did in the earlier problem, right? So the correct option is 6. The next one is an ice cream store recorded the flavors of its recent cone sales. Considering this data, how many of the next 10 cones sold would you expect to have a chocolate ice cream? So, which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? Yes, 10 out of 8 were the chocolate ice cream. The correct option is 8. 5. Okay, the totals are 20. That means half of them are chocolate. So, then out of 10, then 5 were expected to be chocolate ice creams, right? The correct option is 5. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. And the next lesson is, I think that is the last lesson from the chapter. The lesson is compound events find the number of outcomes. Compound means more than one event, right? So now you have more than one events, you have to calculate the outcomes of these events, right? Let's just start with the first example. Basically, when we have to calculate the outcomes of the compound event, what we have to do is you have to calculate the event, you have to calculate the outcomes of both the events, and then you have to multiply them. Just look at this example. You roll a die and flip a coin. So when we roll a die, we know that we have 6 outcomes, right? And when we flip a coin, we know that we have 2 outcomes. So the total outcomes for these two events you can do is 2 times 6, right? And then the total outcomes are 12. You can calculate this way by making a tree diagram. When you have the 1 on die, on coin, either it is head or either tail, right? When you have two on die, again you have two options for, so the total outcomes for these events are 12. So whenever you need to calculate the outcomes of the compound event, just calculate the outcomes of both the events and then multiply them. Right? That is the way to do calculate the outcomes. You spin the spinner and flip a coin. How many outcomes are possible? So which is the correct option? For the spinner, you have four outcomes, right? And for the coin, you have two outcomes. So 4 times 2 is 8. The total outcomes are 8. Very good. The correct option is 8. The next one is you pick a card at random and pick a marble. How many outcomes are possible? So which is the correct option? For the cards, you have two outcomes, right? And for the marbles, you also have two outcomes. So the total outcomes are 2 times 2. The correct option is 4 it is. The correct option is option number 1. Okay, the next one is you spin the spinner and roll a die. How many outcomes are possible? So which is the correct option? The correct option is, yes, that is 6 times 2. The correct option is 12. Option number 1 is the correct option. Very good. You flip a coin and pick a card. How many outcomes are possible? So which is the correct option? For the coin, you have two outcomes. For the yes, the correct option is, the total outcomes you have is 10. The correct option is 10. The next one is you pick a marble and flip a coin. How many outcomes are possible? So which is the correct option? The correct option is 4. The total outcomes are 4. Do you spin the spinner and flip a coin? How many outcomes are possible? Which is the correct option? Yes, the correct option is 10. The next one is you roll a die and pick a marble. How many outcomes are possible? So, which is the correct option? The correct option is 6 times 4, that is 24. The correct option is 24, right? Option number 2 is the correct option. The next one is you spin the spinner and pick a card. How many outcomes are possible? Which is the correct option? The correct option is yes, that is 15. 3 times 5, that makes 15. You pick a marble and spin the spinner. How many outcomes are possible? Which is the correct option? That is 5 times 4. The correct option is 20. Do you pick a card at random and spin the spinner? How many outcomes are possible? The correct option is 6, it is right. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So, we were working on grade 8 math. The chapter we were working on is probability. We have done with the lesson also and the chapter also, right? We are done with the chapter probability. The lessons we have covered today are probability of opposites mutually exclusive and overlapping events. Make predictions. The one we just did is compound events, find the number of outcomes. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we did today. That is your homework until next session, right? So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday 5 to 9, or either you can join me in the interactive session that would be daily from 4 to 5 and from 9 to 10, right? So if you have any questions related to the lesson we have just finished, you can please ask. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions. If you have, please ask questions. No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye.